I want to go to West Virginia right now. Freeman Industries, the company that supposedly had this poisonous chemical thrown into the water supply there, they are speaking out now on what's going on. 300,000 people in West Virginia can't use water. Listen to this.
We worked through the night last night to remove all the material from our site. The material is no longer here. It's sitting at another remote location that we have. We've drained the storage tank that was in, that had the problem, and we have removed all of the material that is available and that can be vacuumed out of the ground. We brought in a large number of sucker trucks, which are like big vacuum cleaner trucks, that remove the material and took the material to another site for storage and amalgamation, ultimate cleanup. We have worked with the emergency services all day yesterday, all day today. Our intent is to be totally... Okay. Our intent is to be absolutely transparent, and we'll tell you what we know. And as much as we know to date is that we've had this release. Unfortunately, it appears that some of the material did get into the river and potentially or has impacted the water supply in Charleston. We have mitigated the risk, we believe, in terms of further material leaving this facility, and our mission now is to clean up. Thank you very much. Our mission now is to move to the next phase of remediation, which would be to take the dirt which is in the storage area and take that off-site for the appropriate disposal. We have worked with Coast Guard's department. We have booms that we're placing on the river just in case there's a potential for any further material to move, which will trap the material and stop the material from leaving the facility. We don't believe a great deal of material left the facility, and at this time we're not in a position to give you a number in terms of how much volume left. We simply don't know yet. We will know that in the next couple of days, and as more information becomes available, we will make it available to you guys.
How much is held in the tank, and how much is in the tank right now?
The tank is a 35,000-gallon storage tank, and we have taken...
Look here, sir.
Sorry. It's a 35...
Microphones, if you would, sir.
Even if the questions come from over here, we need to look at all the cameras.
Okay, all right. It's a 35,000-gallon storage tank. We've removed them. All of the material has been removed off-site. There is no more of that material on-site other than the material that went from the storage tank into the dike and some dirt that's around the affected area, which we're in the process of removing from the facility.
Did you remove that before or after the DEP order?
This has been an ongoing process. We started this yesterday. DEP's been here full time, and we've been working hand in hand with DEP since the beginning of this event.
So does that mean the maximum it could be 35,000 gallons?
No.
What is the maximum?
It's a 35,000-gallon storage tank. The maximum, we've taken several trucks of material out of that tank off this facility. We don't know what the volume is. As soon as we do know what the volume is, we will do a mass balance on what we collected. We know what was in the tank when we started, and we'll be able to tell you basically, what material was either taken with dirt or went out of the facility. We don't have that data yet.
How much leak?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're working on that right now, and we hope to have some answers on that question tomorrow. Look, guys, it has been an extremely long day. I'm having a hard trouble talking at the moment. I would appreciate it if we could wrap this thing up. I will...
We actually have a lot of questions. It's been a long day for a lot of people who don't have water. So can you give us an exact timeline as to how this all happened? The DEP was saying earlier today, as early as 8:15 yesterday morning, they were getting reports, and that you all did not call it in until 12 noon. The DEP was already here at 11:15. So what's the timeline on all this?
We were aware of the leaking storage tank around 10:30. We load load tank trucks of this material on a regular basis, and occasionally we've had reports of an odor previously. So we were first aware of any material being spilled at 10:30 yesterday.
Could it have been earlier than yesterday? Because we've also received reports into our newsroom that it was as early as Wednesday, possibly Tuesday, people were starting to smell this in the area.
We have no information on that.
Are there no systems in place to alert you of a leak at your facility other than a smell?
At this moment in time, I think that's all we have time for. So thanks for coming. Thanks for your time.
We have more questions. Hey. No, we're not done.
You're not done.
We're not done.
Well, there is a spokesman.
Anyone else have any other questions?
How did the whole
Hold on a second.
get in the bottom of the storage tank? How is the material able to get out of the storage tank at all?
Okay, so it's a steel storage tank. We don't know the answer to that. That's one of the things that we're trying to determine. There are a number of different theories, and quite frankly, it's pointless hypothesizing as to how it happened. It's a steel storage tank. It's been extremely cold. There are theories that maybe the cold change in temperature had something to do with it. We honestly don't know. Until we can get the metallurgy on the tank results back, we won't know that.
How often are the tank looked at to make sure that they're up to par?
They're looked at on a regular basis.
As in,
we have people at the tanks every day. Literally, we load trucks for this material every day.
is there any danger to the public?
I'm sorry?
Is there any danger to the public?
Not that we're aware of. I mean, there's a posted ban on the consumption of water. You know, we're not in the business of producing drinking water.
Yeah, but the chemical itself, is it dangerous to the public?
The chemical has a very, very low toxicity. So if you look at the technical data that's available on the product, it has no effect on aquatic life. So there is no danger to fish in the river. So as a chemical, the answer to that question we would have to say would be no.
Do you know, I mean, because it seems like there was a failure on two levels. There was a failure at the tank, and then there was a failure at the retainment wall. How often is that wall looked at? And then tell us about what procedures are in place at the plant, you know, to keep are there any alarms, alerts, anything like that?
We run this facility. This facility operates round the clock at this time of year. We always have employees on site. We do regular walk through the facility, and part of the process of loading the trucks we dispatch from here involve being at the storage tank. So there are not times when the tanks are left unattended for a long period of time.
At what point did you stop doing regular business?
He's got to get back in the plant.
After you discovered the leak, when did you stop doing regular business?
I can tell you that all our efforts have been focused since 10:30 yesterday morning on the remediation of this problem.
There was also some confusion in the beginning.
We'll get questions answered. He's got to get back.
Minimum timeline for getting it cleaned up?
We will get back to you with an answer on that. We're working on that plan right now. Possible. We're working on that plan right now, sir.
Okay.
All right, so that's Gary Sutherland. He's the president of Freedom Industries there in West Virginia, this chemical plant. There was a leak. 300,000 people now are directly affected in the Charleston, West Virginia area. They can't drink water, tap water. They can't take a shower. They can't take a bath. They can't use that water to cook, at least for the time being. And it's obviously a very, very serious situation. You heard the president under enormous stress right there. But as one of the reporters pointed out, a lot of other people are under more stress because they don't have access to water. Maybe they have some bottled water. You saw him drinking some bottled water, but they don't have access to tap water, at least for now. Elizabeth Cohen is there in Charleston, West Virginia for us. Elizabeth, this is a painful story for so many people because we just take water for granted. But here in West Virginia, because of this chemical leak at this plant, Freedom Industries, these folks can't even take a shower or take a bath.
I know, it really is a terrible situation, and you think of all the things that you use water for, and of course, you know, if you think about how you use it in your own house, think about how a hospital uses water, Wolf, for so many things, and that's why hospitals here, many of them have had to shut down their elective surgeries. They're just telling people, unless it's an emergency, you're not coming here. You can imagine how dangerous that can be for people who were really expecting to have these elective surgeries. I mean, it's just, it is a terrible, terrible situation.
And we're going to be speaking shortly, Elizabeth, with the governor of West Virginia, Earl Tomblin, and we've got a lot of questions for him. The governor will join us. Elizabeth is going to join us as well. We're going to continue to watch this story. What can the federal government do to try to help these 300,000 people in West Virginia? We'll have much more on this and all the day's other news when we come back.